AirPods Pro 3, Technics AZ100, and the Bose QC Ultra Gen 2. Now, compared to the Buds 3 Pro, you can see that this is a new design, and its drivers are slightly different in terms of the woofer being slightly wider, and this means that there are some sound quality
earbuds inside this one box, which when you actually get depends entirely on what phone is in your pocket right now. And that matters before you spend $250. And that's exactly what we're getting into here.
They're refined a little bit. There's some changes to the design. So let's go ahead and open them up. We'll see what they look like, connect them to the phone, and then I'll use them for a while and see what they're like. Let's go ahead and open
that story for later, but I'm glad to be back in India and back doing what I love doing the most, that is reviewing tech. But before I talk about the Galaxy Buds 4 Pro, I also want to give a shout out to one of our subscribers.
Do the new AI features, the upgraded noise cancellation, and that new audio profile actually hold up? Let's dive into the long-term reality of what it's like to own the AirPods Pro of the Android universe.
I really like the way this looks. They magnetically jump right back into the case. Very easy to do that. That's been refined this year. And let's set the packaging aside. So the design has been updated a little.
All three tip sizes. The seal quality directly affects both sound quality and ANC performance. So get it right before you form any opinions. Now, personally, I had to use the largest size.
The imaging, easily Galaxy beats AirPods. And this is when I realized that I'm enjoying listening to Samsung's new product compared to AirPods Pro 3. Because the AirPods Pro 3 is good enough for passive listening, but when you want clear. The AirPods Pro 3 in comparison have 10.7mm dynamic drivers inside each housing. But Apple has introduced a new multi-port acoustic architecture which helps move more air through the buds, and
3 sounds more impactful and energetic in the bass. And though it's not as vibrant sounding in the mids as the Buds 4 Pro, vocals and instruments
hear great dynamics with the Buds 4 Pro. The bass attack in specific is really fast, but there is a little bit of bleed, and it bleeds into the mids, and which causes a little bit of an
no issues with it whatsoever. I used it with an iPhone and it functions fine, but then you lose all of the different controls you have with the S25 Ultra. So definitely a much better experience with the S25.
They both are made entirely of plastic, but the hinge on the AirPods is made of metal. However, with the Samsung, it's not a metal hinge. The other thing is that you actually get a transparent outer lid, so maybe
great for metal and synthwave music. The reasons I prefer the Sony is that it sounds more visceral in the upper mids, so I could feel a bit more excitement in the sound.
So I'll link some of those below if you want to check those out. These are by far the most comfortable Galaxy Buds I've seen in the lineup, so they've definitely been nailing the comfortability and the lightweight design as well. Now getting to the sound profile.
Buds 4 Pro to the Gen 2 Bose QC Ultra, the Bose does sound a bit more visceral and exciting in the upper mids, whereas the Samsung can sound a bit recent.
AI integration with head gestures. You can use Google Music to play music based on the type you want, and also ask even to do things with your smart home as well. You can use Bixby or Gemini, and
sometimes you may feel that the Samsung's bass is louder. What the Technics brings to the table, though, is better tactility in the bass. So bass feel 4 Pro has over the Buds 3 Pro. It's sound quality, period. It's a smoother, richer sound with fuller bass and without that small amount of
But here is the honest truth. If you're comparing ANC strength head-to-head against the likes of Sony XM6 or the Bose QC Ultra, or even the AirPods Pro 3,
cancelling, while they are a little quieter than the previous model, the Buds 3 Pro, they are still not one of the best noise cancellers. Yes, they do measure,
or an AC that's working in your room, or even maybe a fan. It does a very good job of cutting out those sounds, almost as good as the AirPods Pro 3. But when it comes to people,
it's a departure from the good ANC of the 2s. These have 3 decibels more ANC than the 3 Pros did. 3 decibels might not sound like a lot, but remember that decibels are logarithmic.
Speaker with these in than with them out of my ears. So it did a really good job of getting rid of all the noise around me and then allowing me to hear what's around me as well. So that wasn't even an adaptive mode. It just
For a couple years, and the 2s, the transparency on the 2s was pretty bad. The 3s was pretty good, but this is definitely a noticeable improvement in transparency. These do have an IP57 rating.
Many others supporting aptX or LHDC or both. If you're on a Pixel, a OnePlus, a Nothing, or any other Samsung Android device, your high-res wireless audio path is completely closed off.
Definitely rank A mic quality in my mic quality rankings. Listen to the samples recorded in both quiet and noisy conditions.
Earbuds. So that's going to bring us over to the call quality. And with the Galaxy Buds 4 Pro, we have 6 microphones total, including bone conduction elements and a dedicated voice pickup unit. In quiet environments,
in the comments. This is a mic quality test on the AirPods Pro 3. Let me know what you guys think of the sound in the comments.
But when you use a Samsung phone with the Buds 4 Pro, the call quality...
Testing. 1, 2, 3. And here we have the Status Audio Pro X in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a busy bar, a crowded restaurant, or something along those lines.
Kilohertz versus the normal 8 kilohertz recording rate for voice. In that range test, you are actually seeing the best version of what these can record because I am recording on the S26 Ultra.
is going to be 6 hours per charge. This is the floor, not the ceiling. Battery capacity degrades with daily use over time. What starts at 6 hours becomes 5, then becomes 4.
Maybe it's just tough because the wind is blasting right on the microphone. So not sure about that, but that is something I would like to see tweaked with the software perhaps. And I've checked and made sure my firmware
day with music, especially with the higher resolution audio options you get with the S25 Ultra and the S26 Ultra or any Samsung device. Switch that on, use high quality music, and you can definitely
a Galaxy S23 and above, I believe. Then you have the SSC capability, which does 24-bit or 96 kilohertz. It's a Samsung proprietary technology, and it can...
But it's seamless connections to the S25 or S26, and then, of course, to the Mac, you just click the Bluetooth icon and you're connected. So these are really a great experience. I also like the
accept or reject calls, which is already present in the AirPods, but I feel like the latency performance is better on the AirPods. Also, I must not forget that the AirPods Pro 3 now has a heart rate monitor, which is not always on, but whenever you're
directly in sight. When I do go further, there's a potential that it could cut out just because when you turn around, it's going partially through your body or your head, and your body's full of water. Which
your earbuds at lower volume levels. Now that's going to bring us to chapter 2, which is going to be EQ, and this is truly important. I had full access to the 9-band graphic EQ inside the Samsung Wear app on,
and then I'll report back after I've used them for about a week. Now, I've been using the Samsung Galaxy Buds 4 Pro for about 5 days now. I used them a little bit before Samsung Unpacked, then on my trip